After Montana State's narrow win on the road against Northern Arizona, this week has been all about getting back to the basics, and a big reason for that is the number of explosive plays that they gave up on defense. Their second most this season, 3 of which resulted in touchdowns and got the Lumberjacks back into that game. And head coach Brent Vigen said, simply put, they were trying to do too much rather than just doing their 111. Top 5 showdown. This had all the makings of what this game should have been. Victory formation, one of the best formations you can do in football. What did that feel like? This run offense has been a little decimated these first couple games, but it sounds like they might be getting Isaiah Afonso back hopefully pretty soon. Earlier this week, Brent Vigen shared that he's making really good progress. Coach Ball, slow start for you guys. You give up 2 fumbles, but a couple of explosive drives, and it puts you up 4 against the number 3 ranked team in the nation. What was the difference maker for you guys? I got to briefly talk to head coach Brent Vigen as they were coming out of the locker room, and his demeanor was exactly what you would expect after giving up 21 unanswered points to be down by 4 going into that half. But the biggest topic of conversation was just eliminating those explosive plays, and the other part is just finding their identity on offense. They haven't been able to pass the ball very well and get back to that run game. He was an Army Ranger deployed to Afghanistan in 2020, and he went to Montana State knowing that they had a great veteran program, became a bouncer at the Rock and Arbar earlier this year, had no intentions of playing college football, but guess what? Taylor Housewright actually saw him at a bachelor party. I got to talk to Brent Vigen coming out of that half, and he says he was really happy to see how much this team is actually playing their 111, which is something he obviously harped on after that NAU game. But the biggest news I want to share is I did get an update on David Alston, and he is out for the game with a left knee injury, and from what I understand, it is pretty significant. Coy Steele returned to that H spot. We haven't seen him on that depth chart for over a year. He got hurt in that Portland State game last year, which was quite a devastating knee injury. So devastating, he thought his career was over. He told me that the preceding months after that were some of the worst months he's ever experienced. But around this time last year, he got a glimmer of hope in his recovery and said, you know what? My career here isn't over. He wanted to rewrite his story for himself. He had such a hard time in the last couple years between injuries and some of the negative messages he was getting on social media. And, you know, he came to Montana State a little broken is how he explained it. And it's just great to see him smile again. And I tell you, seeing him in this end zone after he punched that in, he had the biggest smile on his face, guys. Brody Grebe just walked out onto the field a couple of minutes ago, clearly limping and not really being able to extend that right leg. I did talk to the team doctor. It was a hamstring. He is out for the game, guys. You guys have been able to slow down that Montana State offense. What has been working for you guys, and what do you need to do this second half? Willie Patterson, or I think we should say the Willie P show after today's performance. What was clicking for you? The ability to respond has been something we've been talking about all season with this team. You guys were able to respond in a venue that's been hard for you guys to win. What'd you learn about this team today? You just said it yourself at the beginning of this season. There was so much noise surrounding this offensive line. You guys have a Big Sky Conference championship and this Brawl the Wild trophy. What do you got to say to those people? Definitely won that turnover margin. What'd you think about the offensive side of the ball today? It's been an exciting homecoming here at Bobcat Stadium, but one of the best moments actually happened before kickoff. Emily Frazier singing the national anthem while her dad, Captain Frazier, flew over Bobcat Stadium in one of those fighter jets. You know, this game has been over for a while right now, and you take a look at all these fans that are here celebrating you and this team right now. What does Bobcat Nation mean to you? Quite a few family ties on this Montana State team. This program has 4 sets of brothers, RJ Fitzgerald and his younger brother Jace, Callahan O'Reilly, and then his younger brother McCabe. They both play linebacker. I did sit down with Isaiah Afonso this week just to talk about the recovery process, and he is itching to get back out on the field. He said when he got to go on the field about 2 to 3 weeks ago, he woke up 15 minutes before his alarm went off just because he was so excited to get back to practice. So who knows if we'll see him for Cat Grizz, but hopefully in that postseason, guys. I have to add to that Charlie Regal conversation. Another point that really stood out in my call with him earlier this week is he said a lot of people told him not to take this Idaho State job, even though they haven't been a winning program in recent years. He likes a challenge, and he knows that he can take this program back to prominence, and it definitely starts with the facility, because if you build it, they will come. He was pretty banged up in more ways than one, dealing with that head injury. You got to remember that Oregon State game, heavy workload, rushing the ball 18 times, get to Eastern Washington, getting hit left and right. So definitely a beneficial 2 weeks leading up into the second half of the season. Great words by Tommy Malott. You know, I know you guys have a party going on in that locker room right now, so I'll let you get back in there. Thanks, Tommy.
Ashley is always appreciated.